Have you ever felt like the weight of personal loss would crush you completely? Like, no matter how hard you try to keep moving, life keeps throwing you curveballs and it feels impossible to juggle grief and responsibilities? Well, I've been there. And today I want to share my story about how I turned one of the hardest times in my life into something that not only strengthened me, but also helped me guide my clients through their toughest moments. Hey, I'm Lou, your go-to entrepreneurial advisor. If you're feeling stuck with your business idea, struggling to secure funding, or just unsure about your next steps, well, you're in the right place. Let's turn confusion into clear, actionable steps so you can confidently launch and grow your business. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to face grief head-on without letting it paralyze your business or your life. You'll walk away with a renewed perspective on turning pain into purpose and strategies to handle challenges while supporting others. Last year, I faced two personal losses that completely shook my foundation. It wasn't just about losing loved ones, it felt like losing parts of myself. The first call came while I was at my niece's volleyball tournament. My mom told me she was taking my uncle, who had recently been diagnosed with metastatic colon cancer, to the hospital. She explained that he wasn't going to make it, and I needed to figure out how to get myself and my cousin to Colorado that day in March. And just 3 months later, in July, I was sitting on a tarmac after hosting a mastermind event in Puerto Rico when my phone rang again. This time, it was my dad calling to tell me my grandmother had passed away, and I needed to get to New York to help my family prepare for her funeral. In both moments, my mind was consumed by the million and one things I had on my to-do list. Projects for my business, responsibilities at my day job as we entered the busiest season in healthcare, and the demands of daily life. Yet, despite all the noise, I felt completely disconnected from the work I normally loved. Every small task felt insurmountable, and the idea of showing up for my clients seemed impossible. Still, I couldn't just stop. People were counting on me, and I wanted to honor my uncle and grandmother, two incredible people who had played such important roles in my life. I told myself I would push through, but managing my emotions while handling two estates became a constant battle. 11 months later, something shifted. A client and close friend of mine opened up to me about the impending death of one of their dear friends. She shared how overwhelming it was to balance their grief, personal commitments, and demands of running a business. In that moment, I realized the vulnerability I had been trying so hard to hide wasn't a weakness. It was a bridge. My own struggles could help me connect on a deeper level and support others in ways I hadn't even considered before. That realization changed everything. I stopped pretending everything was fine and leaned into my experiences. By sharing my journey, I created a space for my clients to be honest about their own challenges. And together we found ways to navigate grief while keeping our passions alive. It wasn't just about getting through, it was about growing stronger together. Grief has a way of putting everything into perspective. It forces you to reassess what truly matters, and if you let it, can push you toward a mindset that prioritizes your well-being over everything else. For me, that pivotal shift came when I realized that I had to put myself first. Not my business, not my clients, not my to-do list. I made a conscious decision to prioritize my personal needs, my healing, and even things like taking trips and resting. It really felt counterintuitive at first. As an entrepreneur, I've been so used to thinking that my business came first, no matter what. But grief taught me that this way of operating was unsustainable. I began to restructure my life and work by letting my business needs fall around what I needed as a person and not the other way around. If I needed a day off, I took it. If I needed to step away entirely to manage the estates I'd been made executor of, I gave myself permission to do so. I had to embrace the idea that it's okay to stop working. The world wouldn't end if I paused, and my business wouldn't crumble if I stepped back for a moment. One of the hardest yet most liberating lessons I learned was how to lean on people I had brought onto my team. For so long, I had carried the weight of my business almost entirely on my own shoulders. But in those moments of grief, I realized that I didn't have to do it all. The people I had carefully chosen to be part of my business were there for a reason. They believed in the vision as much as I did and were capable of moving the needle forward even when I couldn't. By delegating tasks and trusting my team, I found the space I needed to grieve and manage my personal responsibilities. It wasn't about abandoning my business. It was about acknowledging that I couldn't give my best to my work if I wasn't taking care of myself first. And you know what? All my businesses survived. In fact, they thrived because I had built a foundation strong enough to withstand my absence when I needed it most. This mindset shift not only allowed me to show up for myself, but also to show up more authentically for my clients. I was no longer running on empty, and that made all the difference. By prioritizing my own healing and leaning on my team, I was able to offer my clients deeper insights and genuine support. I could say to them with confidence, hey, it's okay to pause. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to focus on what truly matters. Grief isn't something you can schedule around or ignore it. It demands to be felt and processed. And in my experience, the more I leaned into the hard moments and gave myself permission to rest, the more resilient I became, both personally and professionally. This approach didn't just help me get through my loss. It became a blueprint for how I could help my clients navigate their own challenges while keeping their business strong. Looking back, I wouldn't have wished those hard moments on anyone, but I'm grateful for the perspective they gave me. They reminded me that business isn't just about numbers or goals. It's about people, emotions, and the courage to keep going even when it feels impossible. If you're struggling, know that you're not alone, and there's a way to find purpose in the pain. If this message resonates with you, I'd love to hear about your story. Leave a comment below about how you've navigated tough times, or share one thing you've learned about balancing personal challenges with professional responsibilities. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me for more conversations about business, life, and everything in between. Let's grow together. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.